During the interview, the reporter leaned in. Robert's new film has a lot of intimate scenes with his co-star. What are your thoughts on that? I gave her a calm, measured smile. That's lovely for them. She blinked, momentarily off balance. Does that affect your relationship? I mean, he's known for never doing love scenes. It doesn't. Why not? Because we're divorced. The words hit like a bombshell. And my phone blew up instantly. Robert's voice, tight with anger, crackled through the speaker. When did this happen? Why am I the last to know? I knocked on his hotel room door, papers in hand. Right now, I said. Hashtag Robert Hannah split. Hashtag Robert and Lily. Hashtag Lily the homewrecker. The interview went viral, topping trending charts in minutes. My phone buzzed relentlessly, a non-stop storm of notifications. I set it to do not disturb and sank into the town car seat, struggling to breathe. On the tablet beside me, a behind-the-scenes clip looped endlessly. Robert and Lily in a kiss so heated it practically steamed up the camera lens. My manager, Jen, stared at me, wide-eyed. Wait, you're divorced? Since when? I kept it short. He cheated. Her expression softened, comprehension dawning. She turned off the tablet, leaving the car in a quiet broken only by my ragged breaths. She sighed, unsure how to comfort me. You two were together for 7 years. Hollywood's golden couple. Are you certain this isn't just a misunderstanding? I said nothing, rolling down the window. The cold night air whipped against my face, drying the tears I refused to let fall. Just last night, I'd received proof. Photos of Robert and Lily checking into a hotel. I'd crumbled, crying until my body ached. Then I called my lawyer, insisting the papers be drawn up overnight. It was the 7 years that made the betrayal unbearable, absolute, unforgivable. At the hotel, I finally answered Robert's frantic call. Hannah, what the hell are you doing? When did we get divorced? Why didn't I know? He only ever used my full name when furious. The last time had been when I'd thrown red wine in Lily's face. Right now, I said, knocking sharply. The door swung open. Robert stood there, phone still pressed to his ear, eyes locking with mine. Shirtless, a towel hung low on his hips, revealing a sculpted torso and faint scratch marks along his arms. What are you doing here? He asked. I ignored him, stepping past and slapping the divorce papers onto the coffee table. Sign them. Robert picked them up, flipping through with a look of disdain before tossing them back onto the sofa. A bitter laugh escaped as he ran a hand through his hair. Because of some scenes with Lily? That's part of the job, Ellie. You know that. He stepped closer, voice softening to a weary plea. I'm exhausted. Can we not do this? Robert, I said, steadying my gaze. No intimate scenes. That was the rule we agreed on. He'd always been possessive, controlling even over scripts, refusing scenes with kisses, or demanding rewrites. Once, a co-star had improvised a cheek kiss on camera. The next day, he was gone, his career erased. But for her, he'd broken his own rule. That was enough proof. A flicker of anger crossed his face before he forced a smile, closing the distance between us. His arms wrapped around my waist, his lips brushing my ear. This was a one-time thing. It won't happen again. And I don't want to hear the word divorce. Understood? Before I could push him away, a soft, feminine voice called from the next room. Robert, I think the shower's broken. Lily appeared in the doorway, wearing a barely there slip. Damp hair clung to her back, revealing fresh marks on her neck. Her cheeks flushed as she bit her lip, innocent yet guilty. Hannah, it's not what it looks like. Robert reached for a jacket to cover her, but I was faster. My phone came out, snapping a series of photos. Sign the papers, I said, voice icy, a cruel smile forming. Or, these go public. How about Hollywood's golden boy in a steamy hotel scandal? Nice headline, don't you think? He hissed impatiently. She was drunk after the wrap party. I just made sure she got home safely. Nothing happened. I ignored him. 3 seconds. He grabbed the papers, scribbled his signature with angry strokes, and tossed them at me. Happy now? Can we end this game? I clutched the signed papers and turned to leave. His voice stopped me at the door, heavy with exhaustion and hurt. Ellie, you used to be different. When did you become so difficult? My steps faltered. The same words he'd said the first time I met Lily. Lily was a fresh face at our agency, and she bore an uncanny resemblance to me. Fans online had even started calling her Mini Hannah. At first, Robert scoffed. He'd hold me close and insist, "Mini Hannah? That's absurd. My wife is one of a kind. No one compares." He complained constantly about Lily riding my coattails. If Lily copied my style, Robert called it cheap imitation. If she mimicked my makeup, he deemed it tacky. Yet he never seemed to notice how often her name slipped into our conversations, creeping into his words until she was everywhere, even in casual mentions at dinner. "Lily hates cilantro too. What a poser," he'd say. But how could he know unless they'd eaten together? Anger surged through me. I slammed my chopsticks onto the table. "Enough. Can you go 5 minutes without mentioning her? Robert, are you falling for her?" He reacted instantly, deleting her number from his phone in front of me, swearing loyalty. A few days later, at an industry gala, a sleazy producer pressured Lily to drink. Robert erupted, smashing a bottle over the man's head. He ignored me entirely, standing protectively beside Lily, his face a storm of fury. "Talent at my agency," he growled, "does not do favors." I retreated to the restroom to splash cold water on my face. When I returned, Lily's cheek was red and swollen. Robert's voice cut sharply, his displeasure evident. "Take it out on me if you're angry. Why hurt her?" "Hannah," he said later, disappointment dripping from his tone, "when did you become so difficult?" That night, he didn't come home. Days later, he arrived with a one-of-a-kind European necklace, attempting a peace offering. "Don't be mad," he murmured, fastening it around my neck. Seeing her like that reminded me of you years ago. I lost my head. He couldn't protect me then, so he protected Lily now. He took time off, lavishing attention on me, thinking the matter closed. But I had already discovered Lily's private social media, chronicling in detail their recent coastal trip together. The way Robert and I met felt cinematic. I was an unknown extra, scraping by in LA. He was a rebellious heir, defying his family to pursue Hollywood. His parents cut him off completely, pulling strings to make his life harder. I first saw him at a street corner after midnight. I'd wrapped a night shoot and squatted by the curb, eating a hot dog. 2 piercing green eyes appeared from the shadows. I offered him a bite. We talked all night, sharing dreams and frustrations. Night after night, we met on that corner, clinging to each other as if survival depended on it. Love blossomed naturally. We moved into a tiny, cramped apartment. We shared a rickety bed in a room smelling of grease and mildew, holding each other through the hardship. For 3 years, we clawed our way toward the same dream, guarding each other's backs. Then came the turning point. Robert won Best Newcomer. His parents finally acknowledged his talent, and he revealed the truth. He was the Thorn heir. I felt betrayed, locking him out. To earn my forgiveness, he stood outside in a downpour all night, collapsing with fever the next morning. When he woke, he tried to rip out his fort to reach me. My heart softened. He gave me a fairy tale wedding, publicly declaring our love at the peak of his fame. Everyone called me Cinderella. Slowly, even he forgot those 3 suffocating, desperate years in our tiny room. Leaving the hotel, I finally checked my phone. The hashtag labeling Lily a homewrecker had vanished. Robert posted a clarification. Not divorced. The wife is just throwing a tantrum. Currently working to win her back. The comment section was a storm. Praise for his devotion, scorn for me. An intimate scene isn't a big deal. Hannah's jealousy is terrifying. Robert's been a saint for years. Her controlling nature shows deep insecurity. Honestly, Hannah is classless. Be grateful you have a wealthy husband. An actor has to act. You can't take the gutter out of the girl. Poor Lily. A talented, unconnected girl gets a break and gets bullied by a jealous wife. Disgusting. Doesn't Lily seem like a better match for Robert? Normally, his team would scrub comments immediately. This time, he left them up, even liked a few. Jen scrambled with the PR team, but I was too drained to care. I slept in the back of the car. When I woke near midnight, messages flooded my phone. Robert called. "Ellie, where are you? Why didn't you come home?" I stayed silent. After a pause, I heard him sigh. "You don't actually believe that paper means we're divorced, do you?" I was just playing along. "Now come home." He was right. Divorcing a thorn wasn't simple. To him, the signed papers were a prop in my little drama. "Robert," I said calmly, "do you really think there's an us left?" Those papers were my declaration of war. It was over. Even if blood was shed, I would see this divorce through. A low, menacing chuckle came through the line. "Ellie, don't joke. You know what happens when you make me angry. The sound of his fingers tapping a table echoed ominously. I smiled slowly. I can't wait to find out, I whispered, hanging up. My reflection in the dark window stared back, hair messy, face tired. That night, I resolved, no more wasted energy on a rotten man or a dead relationship. I knew the underhanded tactics he'd use when provoked. I would not yield. I would be the one left standing at the end of this war. Robert didn't waste time firing his first shot. I had just secured a major role in a historical drama, a project I'd fought tooth and nail to get. A week before filming began, I was suddenly replaced by none other than Lily May. With her rising fame, her resemblance to me, and Robert's heavy-handed influence, the director didn't dare push back. On the first day of filming, Robert appeared on set. As a lead investor, he was treated like royalty. One assistant shaded him with a parasol, another aimed a handheld fan at his face, and a third hovered nearby with a fresh Starbucks cup ready at all times. During a break, Lily fluttered around him, giggling and chatting about her acting process. Robert responded with lazy, half-distracted words, his gaze fixed on me across the courtyard. I ignored him, sitting under a prop balcony with my script. My young assistant fanned me, whispering, "Isn't Mr. Thorne here to see you, Miss Hannah? Why aren't you with him? Don't tell me you're still keeping the marriage secret?" There was an empty chair beside Robert. My assistant didn't know any better. She assumed he was there for me. I knew better. He was dangling a chance for me to crawl back. But if he really wanted to make peace, would he let Lily hang off him like that? He had stolen my role to put me in my place. It was a move even I hadn't thought him capable of. Noticing my growing irritation, Robert lifted his hand and called out, "Lily loves that brand of plum juice. Get a case for everyone." The crew erupted into flattery, gushing about what a perfect couple they made. Lily blushed, throwing a sly glance my way. "Oh, stop teasing," she giggled. "You'll make Hannah uncomfortable." That was when the laughter died. Everyone suddenly remembered that the actual wife was still there, watching in silence. The air turned heavy, awkward, and thick enough to choke on. The tension simmered until it finally snapped. Our next scene was a confrontation, where the heroine discovers the villainous, me, had been scheming against her. The script called for a real slap, a dramatic climax. I stepped into character, my tone dripping venom. "So, you finally figured it out," I taunted. "What are you going to do?" Before I could finish, Lily's hand connected with my cheek, sharp and brutal. The sound echoed. Pain exploded across my face. Her eyes filled with fake tears. "Oh, Hannah, I'm so sorry," she gasped. "Your acting was so real, I lost control." The director yelled, "Cut." My assistant rushed over, ice pack in hand, glaring daggers at Lily. "If you were that lost in the moment, why didn't you finish the scene?" I said nothing, just covered the swelling with powder and told the director, "Let's go again." Over the next hour, Lily hit me 6 more times. Every take, another excuse. Forgot her lines. Didn't feel the emotion. Wanted to try a new angle. Each failure gave her one more chance to slap me. My mouth tasted of blood. I swallowed it down and stayed silent. And she had the gall to keep up her act. "I'm so sorry, Hannah," she whimpered. "You're such a pro, and I'm still learning. I just need your help to get into character." The director looked helpless. Robert's influence hung over the set like a blade. No one dared take sides. "Let's move on," the director stammered. "We'll rework this scene later." Robert cleared his throat. His eyes met mine, cold and deliberate. He was waiting for me to snap, to look at him, to plead. I turned away. "We'll continue." The director hesitated. "Maybe we could fake the slap this time? Use camera tricks." Robert's voice cut in, calm but sharp as a knife. "No need." The director exhaled in relief, until Robert added, "Hannah's a true artist. I'm sure she'd never stoop to fake it." He'd box me in completely. I suddenly remembered a story I'd heard, how Lily once cried over being slapped for real on another set. Robert had stormed in, held the actress down, and forced her to take a slap in return. Back then, he'd said to me after I was humiliated by a director, "Don't worry, Ellie. One day, I'll make sure you slap him back." He had. That director never worked again. The memory twisted painfully in my chest. "It's fine, Hannah. You don't need him to fight your battles anymore. You can get your own revenge." And I did. Just as Lily raised her hand again, the sharp click of heels echoed through the studio. A cool, commanding voice sliced through the tension. And which back alley nobody did you find to play my leading lady? The room froze. Victoria Sterling had arrived. The powerhouse behind the studio. The woman whose name alone could end careers. Hollywood's own queen. I'd been counting on her to show up.
And she had.
I adjusted slightly, angling my swollen cheek toward the light. Her eyes narrowed. Fury flashed in them. She slammed a folder onto the table. Who authorized you to cast your charity projects in my film? The set went silent. All eyes darted to Robert. Lily, trembling, hid behind him. Robert rose slowly, trying for charm. Vicky, long time no see. Her smile was ice. Do I know you? They moved in the same elite circles, but Victoria didn't play nice. And Robert wasn't powerful enough to challenge her. He forced a smile. I'm an investor in this production. Oh. She flipped through the folder, then tossed the papers at Lily's face. $50 million. How generous. Her tone dripped with scorn. And that makes you what? A god? You think money buys you the right to shove your mistress into my film? Her gaze raked over Lily, cold and merciless. And a mediocre one at that. Robert, your private mess doesn't interest me. But on my set, incompetence doesn't fly. Withdraw your investment. Take your charity case.
Now.
Lily was fired. Not just dismissed, blacklisted. Victoria made sure she'd never work under her studio again. When Lily returned to pack her things, her makeup was ruined, streaked with tears. Her reflection was a tragic mess. I sat nearby, dabbing healing cream on my cheek, courtesy of Victoria's personal assistant. Lily's voice shook with anger. Feeling proud of yourself, Hannah? Think you're untouchable now that Victoria Sterling likes you? You might have won today, but I still got to slap you. Over and over. That swollen face? Worth every hit. Lily, I sighed, putting down the jar. No cameras. No audience. She frowned, confused. So what? I stood, locked the door, and turned back to her. So now it's my turn. Before she could react, I grabbed a fistful of her hair and swung. My hand connected with her cheek once, twice, 10 times in total. Each strike sharp and deliberate, until her face was red, puffy, and streaked with blood and tears. When I finally stopped, my hand was tingling. 10 slaps, I said evenly. Now we're even. She clutched her face, sobbing. You liar. I only hit you 8 times. I tilted my head. You're forgetting the one from the gala. The one you framed me for. That's still only 9. Call the 10th one a bonus, I said with a faint smile. Buy one, get one free. I pointed at the door. Get out. She stumbled out, straight into Robert. Crying, she clung to him, trembling. She attacked me. She's jealous because you protect me. Robert's jaw tightened. He peeled her off and shoved her out of the room. Then he closed the door behind him. His eyes softened when they met mine. Ellie, does it hurt? He reached out, but I stepped back. His hand froze midair. He sighed. You've changed. You're starting to play games. I smiled faintly. Takes one to know one. He studied me. Why are you being so stubborn? If you just looked at me, once, I would have sent Lily packing myself. I raised an eyebrow. And yet, she's gone anyway, isn't she? That shut him up. His gaze drifted, heavy and unreadable. You're not the woman I married, he murmured. No, Robert, I said quietly. You're not the man I married. The old you would have never let anyone touch me in the first place. His fists clenched. It's not what you think. Tell me what I can do to prove it, anything. I tilted my head, smiling coolly. Transfer all your shares to me. Give me enough money to never need you again. Then I'll believe you. His face went cold. So that's it. You only ever loved my money. I unlocked the door, my voice steady. Believe whatever helps you sleep. This marriage is over. Whatever else you've got planned, I'm ready. And I meant it. The fallout from the set was explosive. Jen went ballistic the moment she saw the footage. I've never seen such arrogance, such audacity. That man. She held up a phone, showing me a hidden camera recording I'd arranged before the shoot. It caught every minute of Lily's diva antics. Should we release it now? Jen asked, already dialing her media contacts. Not yet, I said, holding up a hand. I want maximum impact. Timing is everything. I threw myself into work, focused and furious. Robert, clearly enraged by my defiance, continued flaunting his connection with Lily. Since she'd lost my role, he gifted her bigger projects, endorsement deals, even whisked her away on a romantic hot air balloon ride in Turkey. The next time I saw him was after a behind-the-scenes clip of my first on-screen kiss went viral. The internet erupted. OMG, I was there. They kept doing multiple takes. Screaming. Hannah's kissing scenes are insane, next level. How do you kiss like that without catching feelings? Their ears were bright red. Is Hannah a hypocrite? She didn't want Robert with Lily, but she's kissing her co-star now. Stop defending him. When Robert kissed Lily, everyone swooned. When Hannah does it, she's the hypocrite. Give me a break. That night, I finished my skincare routine when the doorbell rang. Robert stood there, jacket slung over one arm, shirt rumpled. Here for the divorce? I asked brightly. He didn't answer. He closed the distance, gripping the back of my neck, and kissed me. Desperate, reckless, familiar. When I tried to push away, he bit my lip, punishing me. After 7 years, he knew exactly how to undo me. His warm breath, faintly smelling of alcohol, brushed my ear. So, Hannah, who's better at this? Him or me? I slapped him.
Hard.
Disgusted, I scrubbed my lips with a tissue. Are you insane? If you have a problem, get help. Don't come here drunk and acting like this. He turned the other cheek. Again. I slapped him 2 more times until my hand went numb. He ran his fingers through his hair, collapsed onto the sofa, dragging me down with him. Are you done? He murmured. Ellie, stop. I know you planned our first meeting all those years ago. Can we just go back? Can we be happy? For years, whispers had seeped into Robert's mind, poisoning him. People told him I'd manipulated him during our starving artist days, that I'd only loved his money and his status. He tried to defend me at first, but doubts grew, relentless. Was it luck that you were there on that street corner? Why did you say yes to me? What did you even like about me? If I weren't a thorn, would you have stayed? I grew weary of defending myself. Exhausted by his questions, drained by the long filming schedule, I stopped explaining. Eventually, the questions stopped, but the doubt remained, a knot tightening in his chest. I looked down at him, the soft dark hair, the single stubborn cowlick. My eyes drifted to the faint scratch marks on his neck, the lingering scent of Lily's perfume. I pulled away. Let's make a deal, I said sweetly, poison lacing my words. He raised his eyebrows, curious. Die, I said, calm and cruel. If you die, I won't divorce you. I'll even mourn you forever. Deal? Hannah. His eyes stormed, fingers tapping the sofa's arm in a low, threatening rhythm. Talk to me like this, I spat, throwing a pillow at him, frustration boiling over. You just crawled out of Lily May's bed, still wearing her lipstick on your neck, and you dare lecture me? Why don't you just die? He tried to speak. Let me explain. Get out. Get the hell out. I grabbed his tie, dragging him toward the door. He stumbled, caught on the frame, then made a call to the Golden Globes committee. The award for Hannah Vance, he said coldly. Give it to Lily May. 7 years of grueling work, of self-imposed torture for the sake of my career, vanished in a single sentence. My hands shook. Tears pricked my eyes. Robert smiled at my despair, tapping the doorframe. Remember, Ellie, you should thank me for your success. I swept a figurine off the entryway table, smashing it to the floor. Years ago, he had held me through a crowded market, helping me escape on a motorcycle while I shouted my dreams over the roar of the engine. An Oscar. I had screamed. I wanted on my own. And now he was snuffing out that dream. Award night arrived. Social media buzzed with certainty that the Globe was mine. Fans celebrated my inevitable victory. I wore a backless couture gown, jewels glittering, autumn wind biting my skin. Flashbulbs exploded. Actors leaned in with congratulations. My fists clenched as I watched Robert in the front row. When the winner was announced, I froze. Lily May. The applause was deafening. Cameras captured my stunned smile. It became a meme in seconds. Lily's speech dripped with fake gratitude. There are more talented actors here, especially Hannah. You deserved this more than I do. Next year, it'll be you on this stage. The online battle erupted. Elamea, where are Hannah's fans? She lost. Serves her right for arrogance. Lily earned this. Robert and Lily?
Gross.
Homewreckers. Robert tweeted a clip of my face, adding, My heart aches for my wife, but tonight belonged to Lily. A well-deserved win. Even after all this, he tried to keep up his devoted husband facade. The internet erupted. My own profile soared in attention. Offers, interviews, messages, all clamoring. Jen cheered, gleeful at the chaos. "This is your moment," she said. "Expose him. Burn that perfect husband mask." I didn't care about their opinions. This was the perfect storm for my revenge. I quote-tweeted Robert. 7 years. I bet on the wrong man. I attached photos of him and Lily at the hotel, the hidden camera footage of Lily hitting me on set, and the security video of Robert's call to the Golden Globes. I wanted a clean divorce, but this cheating pair humiliated me publicly. They stole my work. Lily may enjoy him. The trash and the trophy are yours. Robert and I, finalizing our divorce. No forgiveness. No compromise. The internet exploded. Golden Globes, social media, even Thorne Corporation faced backlash. Fans bombarded products with negative reviews, then returned them en masse. My popularity surged. Offers flooded in. The awards committee even contacted me, claiming a clerical error. I ignored them. Jen, beside me, laughed as she liked the hateful comments from a burner account.
Finally, she said.
Expose him. Make the world see the real Robert. All the attention, all the drama, it was the perfect prelude to my next release. Tonight, I burned it all to the ground. That night, Jen and I settled into my most luxurious property, a penthouse with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Glasses of deep red wine in hand, we watched the lights shimmer along the river below. I never thought I'd reach this point. When I was 8, my parents had taken me into the woods to pick fruit. I climbed a tree, and when I climbed down, they were gone. An elderly woman in a nearby village took me in, only to pass away less than 3 years later. After that, the village collectively raised me. A meal here, a bed there. The chief told me my parents hadn't abandoned me, they had lost me, and one day they would return. I became obsessed with being found. I thought of ways to make myself impossible to miss. When I reached high school in the city, I was captivated by the bright, glamorous faces on movie posters. I thought if I become a star, if my face is everywhere, they'll have to find me. Only as an adult did I learn the truth. They were never looking. I had been discarded. Now, I climbed for myself, not for them. Jen, a few glasses in, mused about love. When I was younger, I was with a man for 3 years before I learned he was married. Nearly killed me, she sighed. I thought you and Robert were different. I thought it would last. But it's the same old story. Her eyes softened with pity. Don't you feel sad, Ellie? After all you gave. I raised my glass with a small smile. Some costs don't dictate major decisions. To hell with love. To our careers. To ourselves. Robert's calls flooded my phone. I ignored them. He couldn't find me. The scandal had wreaked havoc on his family's business. His parents flew back from Europe to manage the fallout. His father reportedly beat him so severely, he was hospitalized for days. The moment he was discharged, Robert called again, desperate. I met him to deliver the final divorce papers. He looked haggard, defeated. You have it all wrong, Ellie, he said. It was only once with Lily. After you mentioned divorce, I was angry, drunk. I made a mistake. That's it. Nothing else. He looked down, voice cracking. I fought with you because I was told you only loved me for my money. I believed it, so I used her to make you jealous. I never loved her. She just reminded me of you, of those first years. The girl he tried to protect resembled the powerless me from back then. But the woman in front of him had clawed her way to the top. Lily was nothing like me. I stayed silent as he whispered. It was my fault. I'm so sorry. I managed a bitter smile. See, Robert? You say you love me most, but all you've ever given me is sorry. I never wanted sorry. I wanted right. Perhaps what he missed wasn't me at all, but a romanticized memory of our early years together. 2 months later, my new film was a blockbuster. My co-star and I became the internet's favorite couple. Lily's scandal ended her career. Blacklisted, she even begged an old producer for a second chance, only to be thrown out. Robert was deteriorating. I took my team on a month-long vacation overseas. He couldn't locate me. I heard he drank himself into hospitalization for a perforated ulcer. Upon returning, his mother requested a meeting. I barely knew her, though I remembered the heirloom bracelet she had placed on my wrist at my wedding, a silent signal of disapproval. I slid the bracelet across the table. She didn't touch it. She sipped her coffee, eyes cool. Even after all we went through with Robert's career, we never truly accepted you. I endured 3 years with him, I said evenly. But his life came with a silver spoon. You were never satisfied. And your son, he's the reason he fought so hard for me. She paused, voice tinged with something like regret. He was willing to give up his inheritance. He was beaten. He knelt in the rain all night. I thought of the old knee injury, the kisses he'd planted on me, pretending it was all worth it. Why tell me this? I asked. It doesn't undo the fact he cheated. If he keeps this up, he'll destroy my memories. I'd rather leave the country than see him again. Her phone buzzed. She flipped it over, a call on speaker. A muffled voice, Robert. She doesn't want you, she snapped. Finalize the divorce and come abroad. She left. I sipped my cold coffee, quietly acknowledging that neither of us had fully understood the other. Early in his career, I had sacrificed everything for him, appeasing a powerful investor to secure the role that launched him. I drank, I pleaded, and I lost a child in the process, a miscarriage he would never know about. Finally, Robert agreed to the divorce. He gave me a fortune, which I accepted. My career, my life, had been hard-earned. His Hollywood path was over. His parents installed an associate in charge and whisked him abroad to start anew. Before leaving, he told me he would wait. If you forgive me, I'll be back, he said. I was too busy counting my new wealth to answer. He laughed bitterly, eyes glinting with unshed tears. Will you see me off at the airport? I didn't. I had better things to do. I drove past a high-end jewelry store, remembering a winter night when Robert had proposed in the least romantic way imaginable, blowing a perfect smoke ring. I had laughed, and he had promised to one day give me the biggest, most beautiful diamond in the city. I entered the store and bought the most exquisite diamond set they had. I had a secret Robert didn't know. I had stayed with him for his money, his status. Survival, not romance, had dictated my choices. The damp, moldy apartment, the public restroom stench, the collapsing metal bed. I hated that life. And yet, the gamble I took, playing the role of the devoted girlfriend, the patient wife, had paid off beautifully. I walked out with the diamonds, smiling, finally free.